Hello. Hey, hi everyone.
Hi.
So let's get started. Okay. See now you know what we will do over here is like yesterday what we did was we had started off with something which was related to the right time intelligence over here that we started. So we were exploring some of the functions, right? Like yesterday what was dates between, and we were trying to understand something which was like the last 7 days. Right, so this was something that we had seen yesterday, and we had made a date table. So I hope the concepts up till here are clear to all of you. What is a date table and how do we create it? So see, when you create a date table, right? So it's not always mandatory that a date table that you create, you will always be creating it using a function only, right? So a date table is something you can create using. I mean, you can load it as well. So I would just like to show you that. It's just that so that you all have an idea on it. So what happened is like for example, if I show you this one of the files, we have here. So sometimes what developers do is they don't make the date table. What they do is they already have some dates with them, right? They already have some dates with them which they use. Like for example, if I have this table with me, so in which I have some dates. I have already created a lot of dates over here. I have extracted the year over here. I've extracted the month, day, week, number, and all this stuff over here. So what I can technically do now is basically if I have all these dates with me, so I can just upload this data also, and I will mark this table as date table. Okay, so any which ways, whatever suits the situation at that point in time, you can go that way, right? You can upload this data from here, or what you can do is you can make the calendar tables with the help of the other functions that you have. So either you use the calendar function or you load the data from here. Whatever suits, you can make the date table any which ways, right? So the technique will remain the same. So once this data is loaded in the Power BI, you will go and select that table. Like yesterday, what we did was we selected this table over here, and we said that this table mark as we came to this table and we say mark as date table, right? This is what we did. So this is exactly what we do with the data that you will load as well. So now what we will do over here is now we are going to, I will request all of you to make a matrix over here, right? So let's make a matrix. Then now we will explore some of the more time intelligence functions over here. And in this, what we will do is you have to drag the year into, sorry, I've taken a table matrix. You have to drag the year and the month name in the rows, right? So drag year and month name in the rows and pick up the sales and put that into the values. Okay, so please make that this matrix. So now suppose what I would like to do over here is I would like to compare the current month sales with the previous month sales, right? This is something that suppose this is what I'm looking out for. So like in the month of April, I want to compare it with the month of May, June, so, right? This is what I want to see. So for that, what we do is we use the previous month sales formula. Okay.
Yesterday we did this, I think, Amit.
Yesterday we did this.
So I think it's previous one formula, one of the formulas we did one previous month and the difference of that.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll just be adding to it a lot of stuff to it. Right. So what you do is if you make a new measure over here, so we can call it as previous month, and over here what I can do is we can calculate the sum of sales. And we use previous month formula. Okay, and the date field that you will always have to use, that will be from the date table.
We already have this measure, right?
If you have it, don't make it. I'm
Yeah.
just if you understand it, if you know it, that how we make it, so we can skip this part. Okay. Now in a similar way, right, the way you did previous month sales, can you please try previous year sales now? Please make a measure of previous year. Yep, everyone has done it. Right, so what did you get in this output over here? You would have got the sales of the entire year, right? If you would have used it anywhere, so you would have got the complete sales of the last year in the previous year in this. Previous year sales will be equal to calculate of sales right? So similarly, you can use previous quarter, previous previous day as well to give the sales of the at the previous quarter or the previous day level as well. So they will do the same stuff. Now, similarly, we have one function which is basically like if you see over here, we have calculated the previous month sales in this, right? So you have a function which is called as same period last year, right? So that is also one of the functions that you can use. So that means you want to compare current month sales with the previous year's sales. Basically, if I'm in the month of June right now, so what was the sales in the month of June 2021 versus June 2020? That is called as same period last year. So let's all of this, please try this formula now. If you create a new measure over here in this, so I will say same period last year, right? So I'm going to say that I want to calculate sum of sales, comma. So I will use same period last year, right? And that is date table. Right? So you will get in the 2018 April, it is been compared with the 2017 April. So this is how you can compare it with the last year also. Okay, are you able to make this same period last year?
Yeah.
Okay. So now the next thing that we will see is like, okay, what is YTD? What do you understand by the term YTD? Yep, anyone? So see YTD, MTD, these are the terms that
It's
you all would have heard a
year
lot.
to date. I'm just making a guess. I'm not sure. It's like year to date, somewhat.
I mean, that is the full form of that. So year to date, so that's the full form. Like what exactly do we mean by it? Like when I say same period last year, so I was saying that I want to compare the sales of this month with the previous year month. So if we calculate YTD, what do we get in that?
It's like comparing the date-wise sales per years.
You see, basically what happens is, if you have some sales with you, right? So you have the month-on-month sales with you. So this is Jan, this is Feb, this is March. You have the entire year sales with you. Okay. And this is the year 2021, suppose. And this is the same thing that you have for 2020 as well. So technically, I should keep this. So what I do over here is I have the sales value. So equals to rand between so basically YTD means that we cumulatively keep on adding the sales month on month till the year ends, right? So if suppose this was the sale over here, so this is the actual sale and this is the YTD. In the YTD, what I will be doing is I will be saying that equal to previous month sale plus this sale. So the sales will keep on adding till the month of December, till the last month. And after that, what we do is we start up with that again addition of the sales all over again. So that is something that we call it as YTD. Okay, that is year to date. So by the last of the month, what you will get is you will be getting the total sales in that year. So whenever you are looking at this at any month, you are seeing year to date sales, right? Up till this date, how much sale you got. Up till this month, how much sales you got. And the moment year end comes, this is the final sale, and the next year it starts all over again. Yeah, Deepa. So it's like a running total, but yes, just a pointer in that as the month changes, it will restart.
Yeah, restart in the sense I didn't get that.
The next year. So when the next year starts, so it starts re-adding the numbers. So it adds for 1 year only. Like for example, if this is 2020, after 2021, the addition starts again.
Okay, next year it will start from January. It will take and it will add on for this year.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
So now what we'll do is we'll come over here. So let's make it. So we'll make a new measure. I'm going to call this as a YTD sales, which will be equal to, so I use YTD function. So this is the function name is total YTD. Total YTD. So you don't need to use calculate in this. So this will actually give you the sum of sales option. Go over here only, right? And you have to give the dates to that is date. Please make this.
Just to get clarified, previous things we use the calculate function and we are calculated the sum and we took the date from the date table. Here it is an inbuilt function, total YTD. So what is the difference like using this
So
one and
total is coming in the function only, right? So they have given the capability to add up the numbers in this function itself. So it's like total of YTD, because see YTD itself, it means that it is a cumulative sum that we are going to.
Okay.
The meaning of that itself is that. So that is why what we are doing over here is they have made the function in that a way that you don't need to use calculation. The calculate, what you do is first you define the expression that you want to find the sum or the
Yeah.
average or what, and then you define the filter context, that how do you want to calculate it. So YTD itself, it is mean that it is a cumulative sum that you do. So that is why they have everything is coming inbuilt into this function that you give that you want to calculate the sum of sales and the rate field.
Okay.
Right? Because as there is no filter in this, it is just
Yeah.
taking the next by next. So that is why it is adding it up. So that is why it is total one. So we don't need calculate. So calculate will be required where there is a filter that comes into place.
Okay.
Okay, in a similar fashion, please, if you're able to make it, just spend 2 minutes on this. If you would like to ask something on this. Right? So if you have tried this, now please try this in similar fashion, total QTD. Please try that function now.
I
Total
can't
QTD.
say anything, Amit.
Hello, yes?
Did you share it? Didn't see
No.
any questions.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't get it.
Did you type any questions for us, because we didn't see any?
I see anything, yeah.
Total, I'm seeing now calculate total QTD. QTD. Like we have said total YTD, now calculate total QTD. Now just try the function total QTD. I'm not written it over here, I'm just telling the question. And you will try total QTD now.
Yeah, but I'm getting the same output as YTD.
Okay. So
But the
do we are
total
able to
difference.
try it?
Yeah.
Is it working? Divya? Asha, Lakshmi.
I'm getting some count of YTD if I drag that field.
So you have to basically apply the function as the total QTD, right? So as the name itself tells, the total QTD, right? So it's like it gives you the quarter-wise sales, right? So it is going to add QTD, quarter to date. So what you do is, if you now make a new measure over here, and I call it as total QTD, quarter to date, right? So if you say this QTD over here, the same thing will go inside this sum of sales. And you're going to say comma date
I
table
can't
date.
see it.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not able to see the screen.
Yeah, I can't see it.
No worries, no worries. So yeah, just now, right? So total QTD is equals to total QTD sum of sales. So we give the sum of sales over here, the same formula and the date field. So everything is same, just that instead of writing total YTD, we are writing total QTD. That's it. So the thing that we change in the calculation is, so year wise is something that sums up the numbers at a yearly level. So QTD is going to add up the numbers at a quarterly level. So after every quarter, you will see the number addition changes. So if I just make this up, total QTD. So if you bring this field over here, so you will now notice after every the quarter is changing, so the number adds up again. So you see the month of April, May, June, it is getting added up. The moment the month July starts in, after July, the addition is starting again. So you see July, the sale is this, the same is the sale over here. But in August, it is added up. In September, it is further added up. And the moment the next month, October comes, it starts adding the number one more time. So that is how this QTD is working.
Or like the month you explained earlier, for each quarter, it is starting from the beginning and summing up per quarter wise, right?
Right. So in the year, it sums up for the entire year.
Yeah.
But in the QTD, it adds up quarterly. So after every quarter, it starts adding again. Okay. Similarly, you will find MTD that is going to add at a month level, right? So for a month level to add at a month level, you should have a data at a day level. Suppose if you have a data at a day level, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. So it will cumulatively keep on adding the days up till the month end. Okay. Everyone, are you all clear on this? These formulas, YTD, QTD, what they are?
Yeah, getting it. Yearly I got it, quarterly I got it. If I use month, how it sums up the month? I'm not getting
So
it.
for month level, you need to have a data at a day level.
Okay.
So month level, yeah. So you have 1st of June, 2nd of June, 3rd of June, it will add the entire month. And then
Okay.
when the next one starts, it starts again from the 1st of that month.
It will sum up the whole data for the June month and it will start again. It will sum up for the next month likewise, right?
Correct. But you need to have a data at day level. If you will add it in this only, you will get the same sales. April, May, June, July, you will get the same number.
Okay.
Just a doubt, Amit. If I drag the QTD column to the values, why for me it's giving the count of QTD? Hello?
Can you share your screen? Can you click on that column, QTD column? Total QTD. Maybe by mistake you might would have changed it. So just change that calculation to sum. Click on the arrow and change it to sum.
Um,
Something is wrong in your formula.
yeah, but the numbers are different than from your screen.
That is something is wrong. So can you click on that QTD one just once?
It's not the symbol also. It's not like calculated symbol. That's giving something.
Have you made a column over here? I think you have to made a measure, but you have made a column over here.
Oh, I think wrong like the column.
You have to click on the measure. You made a column.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I corrected. Thank you. Wrong like.
Okay. So the next function, that now the functions, these are basically what the time functions are, which you can use to do the quick time-based calculations if you want, right? Now, similarly, we have some functions in this over here, like which we call it as, iterator functions. So these functions are like these functions, they end with x, right? These are the functions, they end with x over here. So what do we mean by they end with x is like you will have some functions like sum x, you have max x, min x, average x, right? These are some functions that you will find over here in this Power BI. Now, what are these functions? These are like sum, max, and min only. Just that they give you the capability to make the calculation. So they will give you the capability to make the calculation as well. So what do I mean by that is, like for example, when you use if I just create a new measure over here, I guess if I make a new measure over here, yes, let me call it as sum x. So if I'm saying sum x equal to, right? See, when you use a function that is sum, right? In the sum, what happens is you can only give one input. You can say, I want sum of sales. Okay, that is what happens in the sum function. But if you remember, right, in this data set that we were using, right, the data set that we used. So in this data set, I actually didn't had the field of sales with me, right? I didn't have the field of sales. I calculated it. And how did I calculate it? I calculated it by the multiplication of list price into order quantity. So we multiplied those two fields, list price and order quantity. So now what happens over here is list price into order quantity. Over here, if you check this out in this, so in this list price and order quantity, what was happening was that you were giving this calculation inside this. Now, if you make a new measure over here, right? So you make a new measure in this. In the sum, you cannot give that calculation, right? If I say that I don't make the column of sales and I simply say inside it that I want the multiplication of list price into unit price. So I can't do that. I can't give that calculation inside that sum formula. If you want to give that calculation, so what we do in that case is see, if you will use sum and you will try to say that you want to sum list price into quantity, you won't be able to do this, right? It doesn't give you that column name only. Why? Because it doesn't support two columns. So you can't do that calculation. But if I will use some x, right? If I use some x, in this what happen is I can actually do that. So it will ask first as that name of the table, that is this. Then it is going to ask the expression. The expression is list price, but not the date table, it is training sample. Right? So the expression is list price multiplied by order quantity. See, I am able to achieve this over here. in the sum x, I can do that calculation and I can do the sum. So output will be same, the total sales, just that I will not have to actually create the column of sales first. I can straight away use this. So here is the sum x. So if I just bring it in this table, so you will see it is also giving me the same sales, right? Sales. So this formula is something that just gives you the capability to do the calculation and then find the sum. So that is the only advantage that this measure has. So you can all try this out, but please, we should remember that we should refrain ourselves from using this sum x functions, right? The functions that end with x, they give us the capability to do the calculation, but we should not use them because they are really, really slow, which impacts the overall performing of the reports. Getting it? So please try this. And similarly, then you can try average x and max x also, right? For each month, you have to find the average sales and the monthly sales. So please try them. Are you able to try it? Average x and max x. Hello, yeah, Deepa, Vidya, Lakshmi, Asha, are you done with this?
Yeah.
Right. So you tried the average also, average X and max X.
Yeah, I'm trying the min and max.
So if you do the same thing, so you can get a new measure. Right, average X, it will be equal to average X over here, right? So the same thing, it just say I'm saying that I want to calculate the average and the table name is training sample, comma, and the expression is list price multiplied by the order quantity. That. The only advantage that this gives you is that SumX gives you the capability to do the calculation inside it, which Sum doesn't have.
Amit, while trying the min x, right, I'm just getting same value for whole of the month in 2017. Is that right?
Sorry?
While calculating min x,
Uh-huh.
I'm getting the same value for whole of the months in year 2017, like 8.99. So how does it min function works here, min x?
Yes. This. So if I make a new measure now, right. So basically it is giving the minimum price from each month. So like if you see $8.99 would be the lowest prices in these months. And if you come over here, right, like over here is 2.29. So whatever is the minimum price that you're getting, that is being listed down over here. Right. So in the month of Jan, the smallest price was 4.56. In the month of Feb, it was 4.56. It was 2.29. So whatever was the lowest price, right, the lowest sales value that we got in the months, we can see.
Because I got the same value for the whole of the year 2017, so I got confused. Okay. How can I bring this measure into my training sample 2 day table?
Select the
This
measure
measure.
and
Yeah.
over here there's a home table. So the home table is date table, just change it to training sample.
Okay.
So it will move over there.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So these function as I mentioned, right? So like sometimes it can be asked in the interviews as well. The iterative functions, what are they? So you should be able to tell the functions like X, the functions that end with X, and they provide you the capability to do the calculations for some average and all. So they are the iterative functions, but something which we should not use because they are very heavy on the performance of the Power BI. Because if you all see, they are going to calculate first this into this, then sum it up, then they are going to give this calculation. So which can actually impact the performance of the overall report that you will be making. So this is how basically these functions work now. Okay. So now you know what I've done is, so basically I have uploaded one document also for you where you will find variety of DAX that we have in the Power BI. So you will be able to find them up. So if I show you, this is the document that I've uploaded. So this is what you can do is you can just pick up these functions from here and you can try it at your end. And they're mostly like the Excel functions only, right? Like you have the functions in the Excel, you will find most of them quite similar to that. So you can just pick this, so you will find all the functions. Just try all of them one by one in your Power BI and try to see how the outcome comes of that. Okay, so if you have any questions or doubts, definitely you can let me know. So this is where we have covered the different type of the DAX that we use in the Power BI. So we have covered that. So then now we will be moving on to the aspect of how do we publish these reports and how do we share this report with the end users, and then how do we use the SQL Server integration of the Power BI over here, right? So how do we import the data and what is the right query and all those things. So that I will be starting next week. So I think for today I'll keep the stuff up till here. So you can ask any questions if you may have as of now.
The one which you posted, is it in Classroom now? Google Classroom.
Yes.
That is, we need to try those things. Do you have any material for DAX exclusively, as I asked in chat?
So that material only I have uploaded the
Okay,
functions
okay.
that you the
Okay.
functions that you have in the DAX.
Okay.
So you will see them.
And can you please post some assignments this week for DAX?
See, the first assignment that I would like to give you all is now try to first use the main thing is data that you have. Now you have a sample superstore data with you, right? Now try all these DAX over there and try to build up a report, right? That would be the first the practice that you can do. Right now we have used a different data set that we were using this training sample. Now you can use that same data set to create a complete report where you can show the complete analysis, how the YTD sales were happening, right? How the things were happening across the different categories, which was the most impressive category over there, right? Using all the DAX. If you're looking out for like a point question, like, it should be mentioned over there that you have to calculate the sum of sales or you have to calculate the minutes of sales, that also I'll upload, right? But we should not wait for that. So we already have some data sets on which a lot of stuff can be tried parallelly. So I'll also upload that exercise as well. So where you will find some more questions on the DAX.
Okay, you mean to say in the sample superstore, practice everything from the class 1 of DAX, like time intelligence functions, the simple calculations, everything.
Correct. So you can apply all these things over there to just to get a different flavor now, because over here, the data that we were using, so you got little comfortable because we have been using this data for 3 days now. But now all these functions, if you now try to apply on that data set, how they are working and what kind of results you're getting, so that will give you more clarity on that, okay, now you actually understand these functions.
Okay, one last question, Amit. Yesterday I was thinking about if a client asked me to produce a report, previous month sales, I got it. What if I want to find the sales for the last 3 months in this year? Is there any specific function for that?
Last 3 months.
Yeah, last 3 months in this year and last 5 months in this year likewise.
How we can do that? So see, you will not be able to get it like this, that if one function you won't be able to get it, you will have to make 2 different functions for that. So if you create a new measure, Okay. So what you do is, if I say, just I'm giving it a name XYZ or last 3 months. So I'm going to say calculate sum of sales, and then we have a function that is dates in period. Right? So we have one function dates in period. So in this, what you do is you say that your date field is date column. What is your starting date? So today is your starting date, and from today you want to go up till 3 months back. So you will say minus 3 month. So this will give you the sales up till the last 3 months from today. So if you will write plus 3, that means you want to go 3 months ahead. And if you give minus 3, that means you want to go 3 backs behind. So you are saying that you want to calculate the sum of sales where dates in period. First you give the date field. Then from today, you want to go 3 months back, 3 months, right? If you write 3 days, it will give you the sales of last 3 days. If you write minus 3 year, it will give you the sale of last 3 years. So whatever you write, it is going to give you the sales of that.
Is there any
Is that date? Oh, sorry.
sorry,
Is that date table or date field we have to give?
yeah,
Date table.
table.
Table name. Oh, okay.
Yeah, for the week sales, right? For 3
This
weeks.
is sorry. This is not the table name. This is the date field. Sorry.
Okay, okay.
Oh, okay.
Again, similarly, if you want to find it for the last 5 months, you will make it minus 5.
Okay. If it's for the last 3 weeks sales, because yesterday you showed last 7 day sales is nothing, last week sales, right?
Last week, the previous week
Yeah.
sales. You make it
Okay,
minus
here
21 days. Minus 21 days. That's it. 3 weeks minus
okay.
21 days. So you will get that.
Dates. Okay, okay, okay.
If the table does not have the today's date, I mean, like it's not today's date. Yeah,
So you will get the last
sales.
date.
So we need to give the date of that table in that table.
So you give last date. So if you give last, so we have a function called last date, right? So if you write last date of sales date. So what I'm saying now is whatever last date you have in the sales date field, right? So that is last date would be 30th of April, 30th April 2020. So it will pick that, and from there it will go 21 days back, right? Like if I now commit this, so if I'll show you last 3 months. So Harsha, when you use the dates between, so in that, what is happening is you have to give those dates, right? You will have to give that starting date and ending date in that case explicitly. So you see, but in this case, what you're doing is you're simply saying that you want to go 3 months back, 3 years back. So if you get a typical date that you want to go, like mention like 3 days, 3 weeks back. So you will be actually writing all the things over there. So this dates in period becomes a little handy in that case. You just have to write that you want -3, -6, whatever you want. So you see now it has calculated the last 3 months. So these the sales of these bib shots in the last it was last I think last 3 weeks that we calculated, right? So the 21 days where we said -21 days. So it is now picking the last day from that sales date field, whatever the last date is. If you want to give your own date, you can give that as well, right? So, but I picked it dynamically with the help of a formula that I want to pick whatever is the last day that you have in that. Go 21 days back and calculate the sum of sales of that. So that is how I get this number.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Right. So I have shared this document as well. Right. So please go through it and try the questions on the sample superstore data set as well. You can try a couple of things on the UK bank customers as well, right? How the balance was being accumulated over the month or year on year, how much, because over there you will see you have a day level data, and similarly you have a day level data in the in the sample superstore as well. So it's just that, you know, the different combinations, because the DAGs you will find hundreds of DAGs. So it's just about that how much we explore and how much comfortable we feel on them. It's just about that, right? So if you see now this DAGs also, so we just playing with a combination. That's it. Okay. So yep. So you can just work on it, and I'll also share one more assignment as well, so that you can practice the stuff over the weekend, and then we'll connect on your Monday evening, right?
Yeah, might be after
Monday.
the PBI session ends, right? Can you share your data analysis on the logistics and KPMG? Meanwhile, we can also try to finish.
You can share, for you also share the files. So what I'll do is we'll discuss on that,
Yeah,
what could have been better, and how we could have done it, and then I'll show that analysis as well,
yeah,
right? So you can start sharing your files as well
yeah.
on the class.
Okay. Thank you so much for the session. See you on
Oh,
Monday.
sure. Thank you.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Thank you, Amit. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Amit. Bye.